Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we are going to explore the air power balance between Russia and Israel in 2025, a comparison that reveals two completely different approaches to building and using air forces. One side relies on massive numbers, legacy systems, and vast geography, while the other focuses on precision, technology, and speed. Both have powerful capabilities, but their philosophies and results are worlds apart. Russia enters 2025 as one of the largest air power nations on Earth, with thousands of aircraft of every type: fighters, bombers, transports, and helicopters. Its inventory remains second only to the United States in total numbers. Its Air Force, Navy aviation, and aerospace forces are built to cover immense distances and defend a nation stretching across Europe and Asia. Years of combat operations in Syria and Ukraine have given Russian pilots real-world experience and exposed the strengths and weaknesses of their systems. However, the cost of that experience has been high. Attrition, maintenance challenges, sanctions, and logistics strain have reduced operational readiness. Some aircraft remain grounded for lack of parts, while pilot training cycles have shortened due to the intensity of ongoing conflict. Israel, on the other hand, has a small but extremely modern air force. Its focus has never been on quantity but on absolute quality. In 2025, Israel fields F-35I Adir stealth fighters, F-15I Ra'am strike aircraft, F-16I Su-57 multi-role fighters, and a growing fleet of advanced drones. Every platform is deeply integrated with intelligence networks, electronic warfare systems, and real-time battlefield data. Israel's geography is small, so it cannot afford mistakes or prolonged air campaigns. Every strike must be precise, rapid, and decisive. That mindset has shaped the Israel Air Force into one of the most agile and lethal in the world per pilot, per plane, and per sortie. Russia's doctrine traditionally places air power in a supporting role for large-scale ground operations. The Russian Air Force often works alongside artillery, armor, and missile forces to achieve strategic effects rather than conducting fully independent air campaigns. Its focus is on endurance, deep strike potential, and air defense. The Su-35, Su-30SM, and MiG-31 fighters provide long-range reaching speed. The Su-34 fighter bomber delivers heavy payloads across great distances. Russia's air defenses, including the S-400 and the newer S-500 systems, form one of the densest air defense networks in the world. These strengths give Russia formidable deterrence, but they also show its reliance on heavy systems that require complex logistics and centralized command. Israel's doctrine could not be more different. It emphasizes initiative, decentralization, and flexibility. The Israeli Air Force constantly trains for real-time threat adaptation, multi-layered defense, and deep precision strikes. It integrates manned aircraft with drones, satellite intelligence, cyber warfare, and ground-based radar systems. The result is a network-centric approach where every pilot and controller sees the same picture and can react instantly. Israel demonstrated this efficiency in numerous operations where it achieved air superiority within hours. Analysts often point out that Israel managed to dominate hostile airspace quickly during limited campaigns, whereas larger forces such as Russia have struggled to do so in prolonged conflicts. When comparing the two in 2025, the most striking difference lies in efficiency. Russia's air power looks overwhelming on paper with thousands of aircraft, but in practice, not all are operational. Maintenance issues, outdated avionics in some models, and inconsistent pilot training limit the number of mission-ready aircraft. Israel, with a few hundred fighters, keeps almost its entire fleet at high readiness and continuously upgraded. The F-35I's stealth and electronic capabilities give it a technological advantage Russia cannot easily match. Despite efforts to modernize the Su-57 stealth fighter, only a small number of Su-57s are in service by 2025, and production remains slow. The training philosophy also reveals the gap. Israeli pilots often log more flight hours per year than their Russian counterparts and undergo continuous simulation and mission-based exercises with real-time data feedback. Their doctrine encourages independent decision-making within strict precision standards. Russian pilots operate in a more hierarchical structure with limited flexibility, though they have immense endurance and are used to difficult combat conditions. Israel's smaller size forces its airmen to think of every second and every missile as critical, while Russia's vast space allows for slower, heavier, more deliberate operations. Geography also shapes the balance. Russia's immense territory provides depth and protection. It can move assets across multiple fronts and maintain redundancy through numerous bases. Israel's geography is the opposite: small, densely populated, and surrounded by potential threats. This drives Israel to develop air defense systems like Iron Dome, David Sling, and the new Iron Beam laser defense. These protect against rockets, drones, and missiles, allowing Israel to preserve air bases and maintain freedom of action. Russia relies on its strategic distance and vast network of air defense sites, but it cannot easily protect every front simultaneously. In terms of combat experience, both air forces have learned hard lessons. Russia's campaigns in Syria provided invaluable operational feedback, but Ukraine exposed serious weaknesses. Its inability to gain full air superiority against Ukrainian forces after years of fighting demonstrated the limits of large-scale conventional air power against dispersed, mobile, and well-supplied defenses. Israel's Air Force, constantly engaged in smaller conflicts, refined its ability to strike quickly and adapt instantly. Real-time intelligence and electronic warfare integration have become its defining edge. Industrial capacity remains a decisive factor. Russia still produces aircraft domestically on a large scale, but sanctions and resource constraints have slowed production. Israel does not produce its fighters but partners with the United States and invests heavily in local upgrades, avionics, and weapons systems. Israel's defense industry focuses on missiles, drones, and sensors, ensuring a constant flow of innovation. Russia's defense sector, while vast, often lags in digital integration and software development compared to Western standards. If one looks purely at numbers, Russia's advantage is obvious. It has more aircraft, more bases, and more long-range bombers. But if one looks at capability per aircraft, per pilot, and per mission success probability, Israel's advantage is clear. The F-35I's stealth allows Israel to operate in hostile airspace undetected, strike precision targets, and return before radar systems can react. Russian fighters rely on high speed and maneuverability but remain more visible to modern detection networks. Electronic warfare is another frontier where Israel's compact, integrated systems outperform Russia's heavier and often less coordinated setups. Defensively, Russia has unmatched long-range surface-to-air missile systems, creating protective bubbles over its airspace. Israel, however, combines shorter-range but faster-reacting systems with cutting-edge radar networks. The Iron Beam laser system, expected to be operational by 2025, symbolizes Israel's next-generation approach: low-cost, high-precision interception using directed energy. This innovation could transform air defense by making mass drone or rocket attacks less effective. When evaluating combat readiness, Israel's advantage lies in speed and accuracy, while Russia's lies in endurance and scale. Israel can launch a full national response within minutes. Russia can sustain operations across continents for months. The question of superiority depends entirely on context. In a massive continental conflict, Russia's size and depth are unbeatable. In a fast, intelligence-driven regional war, Israel's precision and coordination are unmatched. The political environment also influences the equation. Israel's alliance with the United States ensures continuous access to advanced technology, training, and joint exercises. Russia's relations with Western suppliers are severed, forcing it to rely on domestic production and partners such as China and Iran. This shift affects the pace of innovation and modernization. Israel's small scale allows rapid adaptation. Russia's bureaucracy and industrial complexity slow it down. In hypothetical comparison, if Russia and Israel somehow faced each other directly, an extremely unlikely scenario given distance and alliances, the result would depend on the battlefield. Over long distances, Russia's bombers and missiles could inflict heavy damage, but Israel's stealth, intelligence, and missile defenses would blunt much of that attack. In close, contested airspace, Israel's pilots and technology would likely achieve localized superiority. The battle would pit quantity against quality, scale against precision. In 2025, both air forces are powerful, but they represent different eras of air warfare. Russia's strength lies in traditional might, large formations, and heavy platforms. Israel's strength lies in digital integration, stealth, and speed. One relies on industrial weight, the other on intelligence and innovation. Both are adapting, but in opposite directions. Russia seeks to modernize and recover efficiency. Israel seeks to maintain its technological edge and deterrence. The balance between them exposes the evolution of air power itself. Size alone no longer defines superiority. Information, connectivity, and adaptability now matter more than ever. Israel's model shows how a small nation can maintain regional dominance with limited numbers. Russia's model shows how a superpower can struggle to convert its massive arsenal into decisive results when facing modern, networked defenses. Each air force reflects its nation's geography, economy, and worldview. Looking ahead, Israel will continue expanding its drone fleet, integrating artificial intelligence and autonomous strike systems. Russia will likely emphasize rebuilding its production lines, restoring readiness, and fielding more Su-57s and drones. The competition is not direct, but their trajectories tell the same story. The future of air warfare belongs to those who combine speed, intelligence,